Do you still think it's possible to live off of minimum wage? Now, I know my channel did really well with that video back in the day. That was the video that got me out of debt, and that was the video that basically made my channel somewhat popular. And I've been wanting to do a part 2, but I've also been finding it really hard because I don't think it's possible to live off of minimum wage anymore, like comfortably at least. You can definitely pay your bills with it, but it's hard to save money. And if you're in debt, it's hard to pay your debt, pay bills, save money, go on vacation. Like, you can't do it all with minimum wage anymore. Groceries cost an arm and a leg. Rent goes up constantly. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible anymore to live off of minimum wage due to how expensive everything has gotten. Again, this can vary from state to state in the US, but where I live, rent is disgustingly expensive. Even if I was to go back to my hometown, I guess they're all paying the same as people are paying here. Yeah, it's really hard. And like I said, when you work a job that pays you X amount and there's no like benefits to it, like no good raises, no things like that, kind of have to think like, all right, I have to pay my bills and then I'll have like a tiny bit left over. Do I put this towards savings or do I put this towards my debt? I highly suggest trying to get out of debt first before saving, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like getting out of debt is such a beautiful thing. Not having to owe anybody money it's like a breath of fresh air. I'm very grateful that I was able to get out of debt before all of this. Like, if I was to still be in debt right now, I would be in big trouble because I don't make enough. So anyways, not to be negative, but I just don't think it's possible to live off of minimum wage comfortably. Again, you could still live on minimum wage and pay your bills, but it's very tight. Like, the budget is very tight to save, do fun things, pay your debt. It's just very tight. And even like, if you want to have a family, like, living off minimum wage is really hard to stretch when you want to have a family. At least nowadays. I know I keep saying that, but again, everything is expensive. I'm surprised they're not charging monthly for the air that we breathe at this point. Do you budget every purchase you make? I wasn't, and I am starting to do that now. I'm starting to see more of where our money is going. I think a chunk of our money goes to rent and goes to our food bill. So we have cut down a lot of things in our food bill, but we do eat a lot, and I mean a lot, of fresh produce. So salads, broccoli, like, we eat a lot of fresh produce. So in order for me to cut that down, the biggest thing that I have been doing is buying frozen broccoli, some frozen vegetables, just not be too fancy with our grocery bills. You know, with this question, I could say yes, kind of been budgeting with the areas that I see that we're spending a little bit too much. I feel like when I start making more money, I'll be a little bit better because I want to contribute more to my retirement. I want to contribute more to my 3 savings accounts that I have. Right now, I'm putting like the bare minimum in these savings accounts. I just want to do better with that. So I budget here and there when it comes to the big items that we're spending money on, which is groceries, rent. Obviously, we know we have to pay rent or we won't have a house to live or a home to live, things like that. Biggest expense you have ever had to pay? I think like the biggest expense I ever had to pay was my cars. I used to do payments on a fancy car, and I will never ever do that again. I think it's stupid. For myself at least. I just didn't think it was worth it for me to pay monthly for a car. Not just pay monthly, but then once when I started doing the math, I realized like, wait, I bought the car at $12,000. At the end of all my payments, it's gonna be $17,000. The dealership has to make a percentage, and that's the percentage that they're making from you. So even though the car was $12,000, I'm paying $17,000. I end up paying $5,000 more just because I didn't have my finances in check. Now, I know if you need a car, then definitely do the payments. But I was always smart about cars after that one. After doing payments, I was very smart, and I had like a separate savings account for buying a car. So that was the biggest expense, is like I bought 2 cars in cash when it came to like really, really nice cars. I'm not going to say the models or anything, privacy, but I bought one car that was $10,000. I took it out of my savings. I went to the dealership, bought it in cash. The car was $11,000. I negotiated 10 because that's what I had was 10. So well, that's what I budgeted was 10. They took it because it was in cash. Most dealerships do like to hear cash, especially if it's a used vehicle that was a trade-in. They want to get it off their lot so they can fit other cars, that, you know, other newer cars. So I was able to do that, and then that car got totaled from someone that blew a stop sign. So I did end up getting, believe it or not, I ended up making $14,000 with that $10,000 car because it held its value. And it also had brand new tires on it. I put tires on it because it needed it. And anyways, I got 14 grand. I found another car that I really liked. They wanted 15. I told them I have 14 in cash. That's the most amount of money I've ever, that's the biggest expense, I should say, that I've ever had to pay up front was that. Another big expense besides the car is my student loan. That question that I just answered beginning of this video with the minimum wage little video I made in 2018, that video made me 6 grand. And I owed exactly 6 grand to my student loan to a T. So I looked at like, you know, wow, I owe 6 grand, but I ended up making 6 grand with YouTube. That was just a sign from the universe. If that wasn't a sign, then what is? And I just took the entire 6 grand and threw it into the student loan so I could be debt free for once. I was in debt from 2011 to 2018, and it was really hard because the interest rate was 32%. So it was pretty hard paying that loan. The loan was, I believe, I'm trying to remember. I think the loan was like 14 to 16 grand around there. And I was paying monthly on it because, again, the interest was insane. My biggest advice when it comes to interest, high interest rates with student loans, is to pay above the interest rate. So if the minimum payment is 100, pay 200. The extra money that you're paying, it's not going to go all towards the interest. Most of it will go towards the principal. So I had to educate myself with that, and I'm glad I did because I was able to get out of debt. I'm so happy when I got out of debt. I remember feeling like free when I got that message saying, congratulations, your student loan is paid off. So those are the 2 biggest expenses that I ever paid. A decent car that I still drive around till this day, and my student loan, and I'm out of debt till this day. What are some of your personal expenses as a minimalist? I would say my personal expenses, eyebrows. I actually just got my eyebrows done yesterday, so that's $15. It's actually $12 to get them threaded, and I always give a $3 tip. Even though I don't make a lot of money, I always try my best to tip. I mean, that's the world we live in, especially in the state that I'm in. Tipping is a big, big part of people's income. So I always make sure to tip. And yeah, so I always budget out $15 a month to do my eyebrows. I was doing them myself, but I was ruining them. So yeah, I'm not the most skilled person to do eyebrows, no matter how many videos I watch. I just don't have that technique. I can do my unibrow myself. The unibrow grows in very, very quick. It's a family thing. My mom has it. So my unibrow will grow in as thick as this. It's crazy. I kind of pluck that throughout the week, well, throughout the month, to make that last. I don't want to walk around the unibrow. But everything else, like the arch and just the cleanness of it, I leave it to the professionals. So that's one personal expense that I have. Another personal expense is my hair products. My hair is greasy today. Don't mind my hair. But I do have a couple of hair products that I like. Shampoo, conditioner, oil for my ends, leave-in conditioner, and I've been using a scalp serum to help with growing my hair out. I think that's honestly everything that I spend personally on my personal expenses. I am one of those girls that's extremely low maintenance because I don't want to say it's because of my finances, because if I was to make more money, I still will be low maintenance. And I'm also lucky. I have a sister-in-law that owns her own salon, so if I need a haircut, I call her. She'll cut my hair the next time I'm in town. So I've been getting my hair cut for free. My hair dyed for free. I haven't dyed my hair though in 5 years. But I do cut my hair every 6 months. Usually, I was doing every 3 to 4 months, but driving back and forth to my hometown sucks with like the gas prices. So I do every 6 months now. But anyways, I don't have that many personal expenses. I don't get my nails done. I don't get my toes done. I don't do eyelash extensions. I don't do Botox. I don't do lip injections. I'm not against any of that stuff. I just don't think it's worth me spending money these days on that. I don't think it's worth any of that. The one thing that I would like to spend money on is a personal trainer to help me like strengthen my core, help me lose weight, help me feel great. Yeah, that's one of the expenses, personal expenses I wish that I could do, but it is too expensive. I cannot afford that, so I don't do it. I just stick with my eyebrows and the hair products that I like these days. How can I build an emergency fund if I'm living paycheck to paycheck? The best way to go about this is to calculate all of your bills. Once when you do that, subtract the bill amount from your paycheck. Whatever you have left over, that's what you're going to put in your emergency fund. It's going to be tight for a while, but once when you get to that $1,000 savings for your emergency fund, you're going to feel accomplished and want to keep going. So just try to be positive, and if you can pick up shifts too with your job, do it. If you can also pick up a side hustle, do it. That will help you get to your goal faster. What's the best way to pay off your debt? The best way to pay off your debt is like what I just said. If they give you a minimum payment, say your minimum payment is $50, pay significantly above that minimum payment, like an extra $50, so you're paying $100. That way a small percentage is going towards interest and a larger percentage is going towards the principal. Now, I'm not an expert with this, but I was able to get on track with my student loan and also boost up my credit score with being a little bit smarter with my debt. Not just student loan debt, but like if you're in credit card debt, the same situation goes for that. Pay above the minimum payments. If you're just doing the minimum payments, it is going to take you forever to pay that off, and that's what they want. The longer you take to pay off debt, the more money they make, because nothing is going towards the principal. Everything is being poured into that damn interest. Switch up the situation and pay more when it comes to like, don't do the minimum payments, pay more than the minimum payments if you can. If you can only afford like $20 more or $10 more than what they're asking, then do so, because it will help you get out of debt a lot faster. Whether it's student loan debt, credit card debt, even like car payments, if you can pay more to get out of it. How do you decide between saving and investing? This one I haven't figured out yet. I'm a little like confused with it because of my finances. I don't make a lot of money, so when it comes to like investing or saving, I go more towards the saving route because I feel more comfortable with having a safety net in case something happens. Like I can just take that cash out and pay a bill or pay a vet bill and not be in debt. So with investing, you're not going to see that investment most of the time until like 10, 20, 30, maybe 50 years from now. So I've been putting savings first because of my finances. Once when I start making enough money to cover more bills and to just be a little bit like, no, just to have a little bit more wiggle room, to put in better words, I can start investing. How do you avoid lifestyle inflation when your income increases? When people see like, oh, well, my income increased, I'm doing well, so I can afford this, I can afford that, then technically your income didn't increase because now you just increased your expenses too, so you're not nearly making as much as you think because you're spending more. So the way to avoid that is learn about finances, educate yourself about finances. The second thing is try to adapt a little bit of a minimalist lifestyle. I know this lifestyle isn't for everybody. I totally get that this is not like everyone's dream lifestyle, you know, living with less. When people hear that, they think of like living in a room with nothing, maybe a box to sit on. It's not like that. That's like the drastic side of minimalism. what minimalism has taught me is it's taught me more of like, well, you could buy that, but do you really need that? That right there, though, that lesson has helped me save so much money, has helped me with not dealing with like peer pressure from people as well. I think the biggest thing is to learn more about finances and adapt a little bit of a minimalist lifestyle. That way you can kind of realize like, I really don't need to buy that item. Just because I make enough to buy it doesn't mean I need it. What are some tips for negotiating bills? I think the number one tip that I can say is to call. I see my partner do this all the time. I've actually learned so much from him. He's very persistent, and I'm more of like this shy, fragile kind of person where I'm like, don't tell them that. No, don't call. Now I am learning my voice and learning that like, wait, why are they charging me this much? What's your opinion on credit cards? Useful tool or financial trap? Only if you are smart with your money. If you cannot control yourself with your credit card, then do not get a credit card. Chop it up right now. Pause the video, chop up that credit card if you can't control yourself with it. When it came to Kohl's and Victoria's Secret, I cut them because I was spending money with them. So I made sure the bills were paid. The credit card was paid off, both of them. I cut those cards into little bitty pieces, threw it out, and I waited for them to cancel themselves out. That's another tip. I find if you call to cancel these cards, your credit score goes down. But if you let them like cancel on their own, they take years to cancel on their own, by the way. So once when they see like, oh, well, she hasn't used that card in 2 years, let's, get rid of her card. I find that the credit score doesn't go down. It doesn't go up, it just stays the same. That was another thing that I learned. I don't know how true it is, but that's something that I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen family members call and cancel their credit cards with no balance, and their credit score went down significantly. Just have these credit cards cancel out on their own. If you cannot trust yourself with them, or if you just don't want them anymore, you can just let them go. Like, let the Walmart card go, let the Target card go. Work with a real credit card because you're going to just see way more benefits with it if you're smart with your money. What are some money saving hacks for everyday living? I would say like, I don't want to put like a bunch of them because I don't want to take up too much time. The biggest money saving hack for everyday living, I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but reusable items, cloth napkins, period underwear. There's just so many reusable items. I can't mention them all, but this can help you out so much. I wish people would see this more, the benefit more of like owning reusable items. It is such a breath of fresh air to not have to have a recurring bill with household items. So I really enjoy reusable items and just trying to find ways to save as much money as possible because life is so damn expensive. Like I said, I'm surprised they're not charging us monthly to breathe the air that we're breathing. Maybe I'm opening a can of worms by saying that. And the last question is, how do you stay motivated to save when it feels like progress is so slow? A huge thing for me, especially these days where I'm not making a lot of money at all and I'm just trying to figure things out. Like, this is the first time I've been in this financial position. The one thing for me is I always try to stay positive and tell myself, even if I put $20 or 50, 20, 10, sometimes even 5, if I was able to just put that amount into savings, I need to learn to be grateful. Even though it is slow progress when it comes to seeing your savings grow, I'm trying to like turn a blind eye to it, not look at the growth, especially while I'm in this financial situation, and just be grateful, like switch up the narrative. Be grateful that I'm able to put some money into savings. Because there were times where I wasn't able to put anything into savings. And the craziest thing is, even with me making such little money right now, I'm still able to save a little bit and just make it work with what's coming in. On that note, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this fairly long money Q&A. If you guys want me to do another money Q&A or minimalist Q&A, you can leave your questions down below. Again, hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.